Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd film almost a challenge for myself. I get a lot of makeup sent to me in PR from lots of different companies, and because I get so much, I don't always get the chance to try it. So I thought today I would record a look using makeup that I have never used before. It's never been on my face, it's never been on anyone else's face, it's a completely new product to me. I think this could be tricky, but I'm going to give it a go. I have swatched some of the products like on my hand before, so I have an idea of pigmentation. But yeah, this is going to be a totally new thing for me. So if you're interested to see how I go from this to this, then keep on watching. So recently I've been noticing that I get a lot more darkness under my eyes, so I have been colour correcting. And the first product I'm going to use for that is this Stila palette. It's a Correct and Perfect palette. It's quite exciting because it does have lots of different shades. So it's got creams all up here and then a couple of powders. I'm just going to go in for this sort of like salmony peachy colour here. It doesn't always come across on camera that I am getting darker under the eyes, but it definitely does in real life. Certainly when there isn't such direct light on me like this, but I am going to take it just onto the inner corners of my eyes here where I get a lot of that blue shadow. So far it's feeling pretty normal, it's blending in well, if anything a tiny bit dry. I completely forgot one step already, so I'm going to go in with a Glossier Futuredew. Now I know everyone's used this before, but it's just something that I've not actually had. It's supposed to be like a dewy serum, and you know I love dewy, glowy skin, so I'm just going to whack that along the high points of the face. I have already got moisturiser on, so I'm not too worried about, adding too much moisture to the skin. It's really more that I want this for the glow. So that actually feels really great on the skin. It feels very juicy and actually it is providing quite a lot of hydration. So I'm going to be extra hydrated now. My skin feels plump, it's got a nice little bit of shine. Hopefully it's coming across on camera. So now that I've done that, I'm going to move straight onto my foundation. This is something I got in a care package from Clarins, which is great. I love Clarins as a brand. I use their lip perfectors all the time, but this is the Everlasting Youth Fluid Foundation. Now, I don't know, I've been feeling a little bit old recently, all my grey hairs are coming in, so I really want to use this, which will be youth boosting. I'm always a little bit nervous to start with a new foundation because you just never know. I've got a lot of open pores, but it's a fairly good shade match, even though it's a little bit light and a little bit yellow. I'm starting in the centre of my face, which is where I need most of my coverage. It smells like cucumbers, which is really bizarre. I noticed that when I swatched it on my hand earlier. I don't know, if you don't like scents, you might not like it. I don't like scents, but it's nothing too overpowering, so I'm hoping it doesn't break me out. Okay, straight up, this is absolutely glorious. My skin looks amazing. It's very lightweight, so I'd say it's only like a light medium. It's also feeling very moisturizing, which for me is great because I've got dry skin. I suppose with something that's targeted to sort of more mature skin, I assume it would have to be much more hydrating than usual, but I really, really like the finish. I've got my mirror down here and I'm like going straight in and seeing that it just looks fantastic. I'm actually gobsmacked. That is beautiful. I love the finish. I love the feel of it on my skin. It feels so lightweight, but my skin looks perfected without looking cakey. There's no dryness on my skin, which I've been suffering with a lot recently, so that's a huge, huge plus for me. That's 3 products in a row that have done really, really well. I'm starting to get a little bit worried, like maybe this video is going to be everything is amazing. It'll be quite strange. I'm going to move on to the eyes now, and I'm going to use something from Haus Labs, which is Lady Gaga's line. A friend of mine from Singapore sent over a few products from the line, so I've not really had a chance to try it yet just because of the type of work I've done. This one's a cream shadow, and I'm going to use it as a base for my eyeshadow today. Okay, so it's a sort of mauvey pink. And I'm just going to put it really down on the mobile eyelid. So I always look really gross when I do things like this. I'm not made for camera, sadly. This is why I go into makeup, so that the models are on camera. But yeah, mainly focusing that on the lid here, and grab a brush. I'm just going to blend out the edges. I don't want to take it too high. Wow, the shimmer on that is so pretty. So it does sheer out a little bit when you blend it, but I mean, that's to be expected. I might pop a little bit more on just to get a little bit more pigment. Wow, what a colour. The eyeshadow palettes that I've got for this look are a little bit more like bronzy, but I just thought that with a base, it would make the shadow stand out much more. Wow, that is stunning. I guess for a product like this, the test really is if it stands up over time. But I can't really see myself wearing this look all day. Sorry. Another hit. Starting to worry. So I'm moving on now to powder eyeshadow. I got these from Burt's Bees when I did a show. Burt's Bees does an amazing makeup line. I've used a lot of their lip products. I'm not a huge fan of their bases, but yeah, the lip stuff and the cheek stuff is really, really great. I had these for, gosh, it feels like nearly 2 years, but I've not really tried them, only on my hand, just because I have a million eyeshadows, so I don't tend to keep sort of little compacts with me on the go. I really want to go in with this absolutely stunning sort of like not bronzy, like fiery, reddy orange colour. It will change the sort of vibe of the makeup, but because it's got the base, it should stick. This is the hope anyway. I've loaded up a little flat brush, and I'm just going to pat it onto the mobile eyelid. Wow, look at that foil. Yes, we're in love. I mean, this is almost a sort of like foolproof technique if you're not sure about products that, you know, you've never used before. If you layer up a powder over a cream, you just get incredible pigmentation. So again, I'm focusing it really down at the base of the eye, all over the mobile eyelid, and then I'll just gently blend it up. My eyes don't really have a lot of space, so I have to really be quite conscious when I'm putting on my eyeshadow. And to sort of blend it out, I'm going to use the 1505 Shimmering Nudes palette. I know you shouldn't really use shimmers to blend out, but I'm just going to use this bottom shade here. It's just like a taupey, like easy brown shade. Yeah, I just think it'll be a good plan to give a little bit of a better transition. Blending out really easily. Sometimes I find that if you do use like a slight, not like a glossy or glowy, like glittery shade, but if you use a slightly satin shade in the crease, it can just look that little bit more flattering. When you've got dry skin on the eyelid, a really matte eyeshadow can just end up looking that little bit too harsh, and it'll like show the dryness of your lid a little bit more. Now, just because I feel like there is a lot going on the top, I do want to balance it out slightly, so I'm going to go back in with the Shimmering Nudes palette and use just that same bottom shade, maybe mixed with a little bit of the more taupey one up here, and just pop it a little bit on the outer corner under the eyes, just for that little bit more balance. These shadows seem so soft and like gentle. I know a lot of people are like mad on pigmentation, they want like highly pigmented eyeshadows, but I think sometimes it can look a bit too much, so I'm very much a fan of this. I probably should have put my concealer under my eyes first, but hey ho. I just think it gives a little bit more to the eye this way. A little bit of shape. Yeah, that's delightful. Something I consistently struggle with is mascara. So when I opened this, which is the Stila Magnum XXX mascara, I was terrified. So you can see I have hooded eyes and I have small eyes. This brush is insane. I mean, that is absolutely ginormous. So this is going to be a really, really tricky thing to do for my eyes. The brush is also fully loaded. So I'm going to take a hell of a lot of this off before I even get anywhere near my eye. It's actually not as difficult to maneuver as I thought. It's just the fact that I have like almost no eyelashes. Like, they're quite long, the ones that I do have, but they're very, very sparse. A technique I like to do a lot with mascara is to really get into the root and roll it there and wiggle, but because this is so big, I just don't think I can get it in there. Alright, so here's where we're at. The mascara was great. My lashes look amazing. They're very long and thick, but that wand was impossible. I've managed to dab it here. It's all along the bottom of my lashes. It's on here. Not the end of the world, because I'm just going to wait for it to dry and then just flick it off. But yeah, that's really messy. I think if you've got bigger eyes and more space, you're going to love it, because, I mean, the drama is fantastic. It's done a really good job. But for me, the brush is just too huge. So I'd say we're pretty much there with the eyes. I'm definitely noticing that my lashes are immediately dropping, but just because of the weight of the mascara, but I guess that's not really the mascara's fault, more than it's just that I've got hooded eyes and I've got really weak lashes. I think maybe it's just not for me. I might recurl towards the end, but I'm just going to let them make sure it's completely dry, because I'm not going to try and like chop off my lashes. I'm going to move on to concealer around the eyes and around the face. I've got the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. I've never tried this, but I've heard it's like an absolutely bulletproof thing. A little bit worried for myself because I do have like dry skin, so a really sort of dry, long-lasting concealer might not be the best move for me. Because of that, I'm going to take it off onto my hand. Let me see what the shade is as well, just so that you know. I've gone for M21 Neutral. It's one that I was given and I wanted to give it a go, and I'm going to use a duo fibre brush, one like this, because it just means I'm not going to put all that much on. Yeah, it feels really dry already on my hand, so I'm going to be a little bit careful. Maybe it'll be great because it'll give me a lot of longevity, but yeah, dry concealers are not my friend. I'm just using it to clean up underneath the eye. Shade is okay for me. It's not like a brightening shade, but that's all right. I think I probably don't need it. I'd just be sort of as white as the wall behind me. Yeah, it is super dry, so I can definitely see it as a texture underneath my eye. I'm not massively keen, I must say. It's actually like quite, even though it says neutral, it's quite, I feel like it's got a bit of pink in there, so it is kind of a corrective shade. I don't know, jury's out on that one so far. I'm not 100% sold, but it's not bad. And I suppose if you're looking for something that's going to last all day, then this is probably it. I do need a little bit around my nose where I'm red. Just it sort of takes me to a place where I feel like I look like I'm wearing makeup rather than it being like my natural skin. I think because I've got quite good skin at the moment, it's maybe not the best test. I should probably test it on someone whose skin is not, you know, who might be struggling a bit. It seems to be oxidizing like mad on my hand, but on my face it doesn't seem to be a problem. What do you think? Are you noticing any different? Am I going really pink or something now? Okay, a little check-in. Here's where we're at. The skin looks good. Even with the concealer. I do just think it looks a little bit more makeup-y than I personally like to look. But if you are the kind of person who's used to wearing a lot of makeup, I don't think you would find this overly makeup-y. It's just I'm very sensitive to that in particular. Moving on, I'm going to use a Glossier, what are they called, Cloud Paint. Now, I actually haven't owned these. I know that's like sacrilege for a makeup artist. But I love cream blush, I love liquid blush, and this is in shade Dusk. I haven't set anything so far, so I can go straight in with a cream or a liquid. I'm really pounding it into this brush, just so that hopefully it doesn't disturb any of my foundation. I want a light flush on the cheeks. That is gorgeous. Oh my god. Wow, can you see? It's a very natural nude shade, a little bit of orange, but that looks absolutely stunning. Oh, I really like applying it with this brush. I think that's done a really good job. I think the only thing about using a brush like this is that a lot of it does seem to go in the bristles, which maybe is a little bit wasteful considering the size of the tube. But if you're looking for a sheer wash of colour that's really nicely blended, oh yeah, that's a bit of me. Wow. Love that. And because I'm totally extra, I am going to go in with a powder blush just because I really wanted to try this. I've tried a bunch of the Charlotte Tilbury blushes before, but just not this one. They sent me Sex on Fire. I think it looks really nice, like a nice nude. It's one of the swish and pop things, but I don't normally like swish around and then use the blush to pop. I just go in all together. I'm using like a really fluffy brush because again, I don't want a lot on the brush, and I'm just going to enhance what's already there. Also because this has a little bit of glow, like a little bit of sheen, and I thought the cloud paint would be really sheeny, but maybe because of the brush I used it took away that sheen, so I want a little bit of it back. Yeah, that's lovely. This is now going to be like a mega long lasting blush. I think that's stunning. Love, love, love. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not a big powder person, you know this, but I did get sent this translucent loose powder from NARS. It's in the shade Crystal. It's a light reflecting setting powder, so I'm hoping that it will keep some of the dew. I'm just noticing that because the foundation again is for drier skin, my nose is looking a little bit shiny. I'm just around the sides of my nose, so I'm going to knock off a little bit, just a little bit of that shine. I want to keep it everywhere else, but actually, I don't know, the skin's not looking super luminous. Just gonna dab that in. These like microfine powders terrify me even as a makeup artist, because stuff like flash photography, it's what gives you that like horrendous flashback, so you've got to be really, really careful. You knock it into the brush so that you're really using the tiniest little bit. Is that working? I think it is. I mean, obviously we're on video, so I'm not going to have like a flash test, But I think I will test it when I'm off here, just so that I know whether or not I could use this for like a red carpet or events, because the texture is really nice, not done anything too crazy, but it has knocked down the shine away without making me look cakey. I literally can't believe we're at the final step. We're on to lips, and this is going to be with some of the products I've just received. I'm so excited, and they're from Kevin Aquan. Kevin Aquan was a massive makeup artist. His legacy is still massive, and his line is stunning. The lovely people at Trace Publicity sent me over a load of the lipsticks and lip liners, and I just saw on their press day that their best-selling shade, which is Thelma Dora, looked amazing. They did a sort of like mini glow tutorial with their global artist, their global head artist. So I was like, I've got the shade, I've got to put it on now. It's a nice pinky shade, like a Your Lips But Better, very creamy. The packaging is luxe as hell. I love it. It's really got that nice heavy feeling. Yeah, this is stunning. Very flattering on the lips. Apparently it's the name of his parents put together, which is so sweet. And it's their best-selling lip shade worldwide. My God, that is beautiful. I really, really like it even just on its own. This would be the perfect day-to-day makeup, the perfect bridal lip colour. I do have a lip liner as well. Like, I think I prefer it without a lip liner, but just because I've got it and I want to try it, it's a new product. This one is in shade Divine. Oh my God, I love. And it's an unforgettable lip liner, also by Kevin Aquan. I'm only going to use the tiniest bit. I know a lot of people out there like swear by their lip liner and they couldn't go without it, so I'm going to show you. This colour is absolutely perfect for the shade of the lipstick. Like, it's a dead-on match. So that's the finished look. My goodness, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I've not been disappointed by like any of these products majorly. The only two things with the mascara, I mean, it's heavy. It's okay. I didn't really love the shape of the wand, but that's really more of an eye shape thing for me. Everything else looks great. The concealer, jury's out. It's creasing already in the sides of my nose, even though I've got powder on there as well, and it's a long-lasting formula. Maybe that one's not for me. Creasing is normal, but I actually don't think I've ever gotten a crease on the inside of my eye there. That's very bizarre. But everything else, the cloud paint, I love this cheek combination. I think it's stunning. The eyeshadow is really pretty. The base from Lady Gaga, that's what I'm still not sure on. I think because of my hooded eye, like anything, like it didn't really blend as perfectly as some cream shadows do, but I can't really complain. I still think overall the look is great, and if you layered it like I did with the powder, I've had no creasing since. I do think it looks really nice. I hope you love the look. Please comment below, tell me what you think, and maybe try this out for yourself. See if you can get a bunch of products that you've never tried before and put them all together in one look. It's a really good test of your artistry. I hope to see you again soon, guys. Bye.